Napoleonic War Part 3. Britain, Russia, Prussia, Sweden, Switzerland, Austria, the Netherlands, and a number of lesser German powers faced up against France in the Seventh Coalition, 1815. Following Napoleon's escape from Elba and landing at Cannes, the era known as the 100 Days started, the 1st of March 1815. He finally defeated the resurrected Louis XVIII by traveling to Paris and gathering support along the way. The Allies quickly assembled their troops to face him once more. Napoleon recruited 280,000 troops and divided them among his many armies. He issued a decree calling for the eventual recruitment of almost 2.5 million additional soldiers into the French army, which was never carried out, and asked for the recall of well over 250,000 veterans from previous conflicts. Although coalition war plans called for 1 million frontline soldiers supported by around 200,000 garrison, logistical, and other support workers, this confronted an initial coalition force of about 700,000 men. After giving Marshal Grouchy the command to capture the right wing of the Army of the North and prevent the Prussians from reorganizing, Napoleon grabbed the reserve of the Army of the North and joined his troops with those of Ney to pursue Wellington's army. Both Grouchy and Napoleon made the first in a string of errors when they failed to realize that the Prussian soldiers had already been reorganized and were assembling at Wavre. The French army did little to prevent the Prussians from making a somewhat leisurely withdrawal throughout the night and into the early morning. The 3rd Prussian Corps set up blocking positions across the river while the 4th, 1 Stone, and 2nd Prussian Corps marched through the town toward Waterloo. Although Grouchy attacked and routed the Prussian rearguard led by Lieutenant General von Thielmann in the Battle of Wavre, the 18th to the 19th of June, it was 12 hours too late. Finally, 17,000 Prussians had prevented 33,000 desperately required French reinforcements from entering the field. Napoleon waited for the ground to dry up after the previous night's rain before he ordered the Battle of Waterloo to begin that morning on June 18. By late afternoon, the French army was unable to push Wellington's soldiers from the cliff they were occupying. Napoleon's plan to keep the coalition troops split had failed when the Prussians arrived and began attacking the French right flank in increasing numbers. As a result, a combined coalition general advance pushed Napoleon's army from the field in confusion. In order to drive back the 116,000 soldiers of Blucher and Wellington, Marshal Davout had 117,000 men ready to assist Grouchy in organizing a successful and well-organized retreat toward Paris. After losing the Battle of Issy, General Vandamme was forced to negotiate his surrender. 3 days after Waterloo, when Napoleon arrived in Paris, he still held out hope for a concerted national resistance. But the atmosphere in the legislative chambers and among the populace at large did not support this. Napoleon again abdicated on June 22, 1815, due to a lack of support, and on July 15, 1815, he turned himself in to the British squadron at Rochefort. He was deported by the Allies to St. Helena, a small island in the South Atlantic, where he passed away on May 5, 1821.